Bust it.
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform.
Hello and welcome to Political Platform. Of course, things are heating up in the polity. The president's trip to KANO, he should be concluding the second day of his 2-day visit to KANO today. But yesterday, after a mammoth crowd came out to receive him in the different places he went to, President Muhammad Buhari declared that he has KANO State in his pocket. He told everybody that cared to listen that if he stands for elections in future, any time, probably 2019, nobody will beat him in KANO because he believes the people of KANO have seen the good works the APC government has done in the areas of security and agriculture. Of course, it's another indication that the president would contest, and it's a matter of time before he formally makes that open. In the PDP, 48 hours to the convention of the party. So many people are saying it is the last opportunity for it to get it right, to really prove that it has repented and is a reborn party not akin to impunity, imposition, godfatherism, arrogance. But they say money is a factor in that convention. It's coming from no person than former military president Ibrahim Babangida, who says huge sums of money may be moved in to indeed sway the decision of the voters. And you ask, maybe the PDP has not learned from its past. The fuel crisis in the country has persisted despite assurances by the authorities that it will be put down. We hope they will do more. I'm not alone on this program as usual, and my colleagues are here with me. Adeba Abodore is in the studio.
Amishi, there is something unique about politics in KANO. I grew up in that city, and it's home to radical politics, and it's a place where, good thanks to late Malam Aminu Kano, who embarked on what I would call massive conscientization of the people of old Kano State, and by extension some parts of the north. And so today, Kano people are politically conscious. They go about with their radios, they listen to all radio news, and they pick a lot of information from there. What is clear from the president's statement is that anybody that is still doubting whether the president will contest 2019 election should now bury that, should now stop being a doubting Thomas. That statement yesterday is not categorical, but it implies that the president is ready to have it again. He wants to have a second term, and I think it's a case. When you now look at it against the background of the fact that Annex said the timetable has not been released, politics is already in the air, and the jostling for elective offices in 2019 has actually started.
Some say 2018 will be an election year. You won't have much time for governance. Last opportunity for the APC government to prove to Nigerians that it can deliver. And so when you expect even an INEC timetable, you see lots of activities in 2018. Party primaries must be concluded in 2018, paving the way for the main elections in February 2019. Just 14 months away. Our colleague and his chief press secretary to the Delta State Governor, Ehedu Aniagwu, is still very much around. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Amechi. Good morning, listener. It's obvious that the president is still strong in a place like KANO, but of course they say the taste of the pudding is in the eating. As they inch closer to the election, you begin to know whether there are other forces that may also drag KANO with him. But what makes it good is that at the end of the day, the electorates are free to make a choice. And we also made it very clear yesterday that if the president begins to address those things that have those individuals that are not happy with the decisions of the party, he may be able to still pull a very, very strong one ahead of the 2019 general elections. And then on the issue of the IBB and the PDP, of course, you know, that is one man who have remained faithful to his party. In spite of the number of times he tried to come back through the party and he couldn't get the ticket, or some other times he decided not to proceed with the ambition. But whichever way you look at it, what the PDP tend to be doing differently this time is that, like where you have them zone positions before now, not even only to a zone or to individual or to states, they zone it more or less to individuals in the past. And so even ahead of the election, you already know who is going to emerge. Up to this moment, I don't think there's anybody who will beat his chest to say that this is going to be the next chairman or this is going to be the next public secretary. And that is good for democracy. We just do hope that at the end of this, keenly contested, and the chairman of the main convention planning committee, my boss, have also assured that the committee will do all it could to ensure that there is a level playing field. That I also believe will help to deepen not only democracy in the PDP, but of course democracy in the country. Ijama
Sama, have you been citing the Ghana must go backs? Of course, politicians in Nigeria are associated always with Ghana must go back. The former military president says his intelligence tells him money will be a factor this Saturday.
Amechi, you cannot rule out money as a factor in Nigeria election. Remember what happened even in state governorship elections, Anambra, Edo, and other states. But I think the PDP, especially the delegates that are going to vote on Saturday, should not sell their conscience. The best thing for them to do is, if someone gives me money, I'm taking myself to be as an example. If you give me money, I'll collect it, and on that day, I will allow my conscience to prevail. You won't be there when I'll be voting. And as of yesterday, they were screening candidates, and today the screening would end. Tomorrow, it is hopeful that the National Screening Committee members will release the list of candidates that are scaled through, and Saturday is the due day.
We heard that Atiku Abubakar will not be voting because
of course, you see, in the PDP constitution, chapter 2 precisely, and section 8A and B rightly says that if you want to return to the party as a returnee, all you need to do first is to go to your ward, meet the ward secretary, obtain your application, and obtain your party membership card. And B of that same session says for those who are rejoining the party, they cannot vote during national convention except there's a waiver for NEC.
They cannot vote or be voted
for except
for 1 year probation.
No, that period. Probation will only come if NEC refuses to grant the waiver. If NEC decides to grant waiver for Atiku Abubakar today, Atiku Abubakar will vote on Saturday. 24 hours before the election, according to the chairman screening committee, is long. It's not just a 1 hour thing.
The National Executive Committee,
if they meet today and they decide to say we are waiving Atiku Abubakar, it will become a delegate and he will vote because it's a special delegate.
Amici, let's make it clear that in every election, even if it's in the United States, money plays one role or the other. But the question is what the money is being used for. And don't also forget, even among the delegates, there are those who are delegates, but they are businessmen and they are being delegates. So if it's a businessman who is a delegate, when I mean businessman, now he wants to make money from being a delegate, certainly you expect him to also make money from those who are seeking such position. But that, whatever that becomes of him is a different kettle of fish. But in terms of whether money will be used, you will use money for a lot of things, whether it's in terms of logistics, movement of the delegates. If it means that you need to lodge a delegate in a hotel for you to secure his vote, even outside the shores of this country, that is allowed. But when you begin to give physical cash and say, please take money, vote for me.
Yes.
Vote because you could do it. You can pretend whether it is true or not to be a good man for that moment. Say, yeah, my brother, are you hungry? It's like they want you to board a bus. I think I prefer that you enter a plane, and you need money to buy that air ticket, so that you just pretend to be nice to that particular delegate.
In the short-lived third republic, there was this funny. I mean, there was this development evolve, and I think is what politicians seems to have expanded upon today. There was the introduction of, that time you have to queue, and then some queue for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and what came into being was what was popularly referred to as bread burger. Inside the bread you will eat is there. Inside the bread is sliced into two, and you have crisp new notes inside it, handed over to those who queue to vote. I mean, who are on the queue for candidates of their choice. So bread burger came in the aborted Tory Republic, and now what we have these days is either hamburger, because it's physical cash handed over to an individual.
Some of the delegates came back smiling because they said it was a big contest between Muhammad Buhari, Atiku Abubakar, and Raji Musa Kwankwaso. So they always want voting, and what
political competition is good for the pocket.
Yeah, if it's get down to voting, then the delegates. That means we can't blame the illiterate voters across Nigeria who sell their votes, like we saw in Edo, Ondo, and of course Anambra State. If we blame them, what about delegates who are politically enlightened, conscious, who understands the nitty-gritty of politics that still collect money? It tells us that indeed we have a long way to go.
That's why I keep saying that the problem with Nigeria elections starts from the political parties, because these political party members and politicians will not tell you that they are unaware of the evil associated with vote buying.
Let's take a break. After this break, we'll hear from you. We have some emails that you sent to us. Please don't get away.
Busted.
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform.
And it's the mail segment. You're welcome. I am Ifeinwa Wobi.
And I am Chidima Enyi. You're welcome.
We'll start with a reaction from the development of President Buhari's visit to Kano State, and this is coming from Dixon Eka in Abuja. He says, I commend the president for the massive freedom granted to prison inmates in Kano State in an attempt to decongest prisons. But why is this gesture granted only in Kano State when the president had earlier visited some other states in other zones but couldn't extend similar gesture? Or is it that prisons in Ebonyi and other states visited by the president so far are not congested? President Buhari is the most criticized president in Nigeria on the basis of regional favoritism, and he has so far continued in that light. I urge the president to use the remaining time of his administration to balance this abnormal act of regional favoritism for national cohesion.
Away from that, Shegun Banshaw in Kuje, Abuja, writes, with the high rate of killings in Nigeria, Nigeria can be likened to Thomas Hobson's state of nature, where life is solitary, poor, nasty, and short. Over the few years, non-state actions have continued to kill hundreds and thousands all over the country with impunity, while the government is either aloof or simply lacks the power to protect its helpless citizens. Moving forward, the Nigerian police must be equipped with state-of-the-art technology to fight criminals in the country. Secondly, the government must show political will to prosecute those criminals and their enablers to reduce the rate of reprisal killings. Finally, the government must be reminded that their primary responsibility is security. Hence, the onus is on them to ensure the properties and lives of all Nigerians are secured.
Then reacting to issues of slave trade in Libya, Okafor Monachi from Jabi in Abuja says, it's been revealed that almost 3,000 of the migrants in Libya are Nigerians. I mean, our brothers and sisters. Am I supposed to be surprised? The answer is no. But I'm surprised how our leaders have been mute about it. Does it mean that over 3,000 citizens of this country out there are not worth saving? In a country where government and politicians have made the environment so unbearable for a common man to survive, do I totally blame my brothers and sisters that chooses Libya as a place of refuge? Isn't it high time the government of President Buhari knew that most of his policies is putting Nigerians in perpetual hardship? Let government create a better economy, provide jobs. I bet you, even our brothers in Europe will beg to come back home. This is not the type of Nigeria we all wanted from our dear President Buhari. May God bless Nigeria.
Still in that light, and also writing from Bayelsa State is Kano, saying, if Richard Okorocha's claim that he created the Ministry of Happiness and Purpose Fulfillment when he noticed that his people are bitter is not a pointer to the fact that he has not done well in maximizing social welfare for the masses of the Imo people. Does he not tell him that he has failed in meeting the expectations of the good people of Imo State? How will the creation of such ministry and the appointment of his sister as Commissioner for Happiness and Purpose Fulfillment put food on the table of Imo people and make them happy as Imolites? In fact, that ministry and such appointment have increased sadness and misery in Imo State, while also making them a laughingstock among the community of states in Nigeria. May God change the state of Imo people.
And that's all we have for you on today's mail segment. Do keep your contributions coming with your name and where you're writing us from to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Thank you so much for the mails. Please write more. We want to, of course, appeal to those that have been writing and complaining we've not been reading their mails. We have rules, make it brief. Don't be rude. Make suggestions, and of course, we'll share it with the rest of Nigerians. Let's quickly start from KANO. Before we take you to Imo State, we should be hearing from the government house, a government house of controversy. We want their input into this new commissionership that was created. But in KANO yesterday, it was the commencement of a 2-day state visit by the president. Some time ago on this program, we argued about the popularity of the president, especially in northern Nigeria, except the likes of our founding fathers, Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, and Awolowo. We have never seen a politician that pulls so much crowd like President Muhammad Buhari. And that's why people always say there are 10 million votes waiting for him in northern Nigeria anytime he's ready to run for election. But there is a big argument over whether his involvement in government has not indeed helped to open the eyes of some of these supporters. But the visit in KANO yesterday proved that indeed, if you are to measure by the number of people that came out to welcome him, lining the streets, taking up every space, then you begin to say maybe the president will still retain their support. And the president said it himself. He appeared to have captured it when he told the people that KANO is in his pocket. It's a done deal, according to him. So we'll take it up from there, and let's see the contributions of my colleagues.
Well, whether anybody likes it or not, the health situation of the president in the early days of this administration, and of course leading to the midterm of the administration, may have affected his ability to move to a number of states and visit them, to be able to also show the people that he cares. And now that he's looking very, very fit and strong, at least from what we can see, and you can see that he's moving out. In the last 2-3 months, he has been able to visit almost about 3 different states. He was in Ebonyi, he was in Anambra for election, but at least he was able to still interact with the people one way or the other. And then now in KANO. And this other, I think there was one other day that he visited, I think whether it was in Kebbi or Sokoto. So if he begins and continues to reach out, the ability to also explain the frustrations he may have had in the course of delivering the promises he made to the Nigerian people may sit rightly with a number of Nigerians, and some who may obviously have become angry on account of unfulfilled promises may see reason to still side with the president. So we just do hope that by the grace of God that he remains fit and continue to see reasons to connect with the Nigerian people. Because for me, what is most important is not about the political party. What we desire is good governance. Yes. Wherever it comes from, if life becomes better, it becomes better for all of us, irrespective of who is the president. We were talking a while ago about the issue of vote buying and money politics. And Mechi, as long as those persons who entrust our mandate to deliver, continue to fail to deliver when we didn't collect money, the Nigerian people will now begin to see reason why they want to be paid ahead of time. And so let those that are elected deliver so that the people will not see reasons to collect the money ahead of time.
Amechi, if you look at the crowd coming out to welcome the president and the crowd coming out to say, I will vote for you during campaigns, you would think APC will win Anambra election. So I do not think the crowd is in number, but I know that the president has a very strong support from the north, especially KANO. And in achieving success, you need to work out 2 things: your strength and your weakness. The president needs to work harder to be able to lure people who tend to be his weakness to his side. And the president needs to capitalize on his strength also come 2019 if he decides to run.
No doubt that 10 million vote will never be enough. He tried it 3 different occasions. The the 10 million votes didn't get him to Aso Rock. It was only when he reached out to other parts of the country, changed the style of his politics, the strategy that it fetched him Aso Rock. So whether or not this 10 million is down, the president still needs to do a lot more. And any of his opponents should also be wary of that 10 million votes and come out with counter strategies. But let's take you to Owerri, Imo State capital. Our usual friend who is always joining us when we reach out to him, Dr. Berens Zewuji, is the special assistant media to Governor Richard Okorocha on electronics media. Thank you so much again for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Anafre. He's glad to be here again.
Whenever we call you in the last few months, it's about one controversy or the other. If it's not about decorations, Christmas decoration, it will be about baking of birthday cakes for the governor or molding of statues, and now another controversy. I'm concerned that when we talk to you, we should be talking of development achievements of the Richard Okorocha government. Why is the controversy unending in Imo State?
My brother, there is no controversy. It's just what people, especially opposition politicians, the ones they choose to pick. I would have been glad so much to talk about urban renewal in Imo State that is going and going so well. I would have been glad to talk about free education. I've been glad to talk about 27 hospitals in 27 local government areas. I would have been glad to talk about 305 youth millionaires in 305 electoral wards. But also too, because of the whole package of trying to develop Imo State and raise it to an international bar, sometimes critics or people who want to just, play politics will pick on some things and not look at it, holistically. So that's why it seems as if there are controversies that come. Statutes were in a museum, and it's not just one statue. It's a big museum in Imo State of heroes, of people who have distinguished themselves in various fields of human endeavor.
Are you not worried? Are you not worried, Doctor, that the appointment of a new commissioner and the creation of a new position is generating controversy and diverse comments across the country?
Okay, let me throw more light on that. In 2012, the United Nations declared on March 20 every year to be observed as the International Day of Happiness. And this day recognizes that happiness is a fundamental human goal and calls upon countries and governments to approach public policies in ways that improve the well-being of all people. That ministry is just the Bureau of Socio-Economic Investment. You see, sometimes, people can't really understand, the dynamics of the administration of His Excellency. He has often said that, in fact, governing a state is limiting him so much, because of the ideas and contact and capacity. Look at this governor is implementing even a UN mandate in his state.
Now, some of our listeners, there was a letter we read earlier from our listener who said if the people of Imo are unhappy, it was because of the policies, bad policies, obnoxious programs of the Rocha's administration that are making them unhappy.
It couldn't have been so. That's maybe an opinion of one person who is probably an opposition, from the opposition politicians. Why can't people in Imo be happy when free education is from primary level to university? Parents will no longer be selling maybe their goods or things to send their wards to school. Why would say women not be happy when 3,000 women were empowered with 100,000 naira grant to start business? Why would the young people not be happy if they were from each ward in Imo State, 1 million was given to start up business as grant? Why would people not be happy when they come on the streets of Owerri today? They take pictures and go around because of the urban renewal. Owerri has 8-lane, 10-lane, 12-lane roads. And the effects of the urbanization program is, in fact, 2 nights ago I was driving home from work. I saw a lot of people at various spots in Owerri, taking pictures and all that. So this bureau, the Ministry of Happiness, is just a reflection of the UN mandate to make sure that socio-economic policies of government, must reflect
you said
in making people
some
happy.
opposition politicians that are fueling these criticisms of the governor. I've seen a lot of critics outside Imo State describe the tenure and the programs and policies of Rochas Okorocha as descending to a controversial so low to the extent that we have never seen before. They said governance has been so trivialized that it has become a caricature of a sort.
No, what I hear people say more is that the activities and achievements of all governors of Imo State put together, all of them, that, like none has reached, 50% of what the governor has done, sector by sector. This is what counts. Health. No governor has built 27 general hospitals in 27 local government areas.
Doctor, if you are saying
schools.
that...
No governor has built 305 schools in the 305
Doctor, if you are saying that the...
I can go on and on. Yeah, go on, please.
If you are saying that the Imo State government has provided all this infrastructure, that means you do not need the Ministry of
Happiness to make them happy again.
Because
they should be happy.
Exactly.
If they are not happy, something is definitely wrong with the provisions of all those amenities you have just enumerated.
Let me clarify that again. Okay.
In 30 seconds, please.
Let me clarify. She's a supervising commissioner, not a commissioner. It meant that, she didn't go through House of Assembly. It's a bureau. And this bureau is just a coordinating bureau, making sure that all these things I have mentioned are being sustained. Finish.
Okay. Thank you so much. We must have to thank you, Special Assistant Electronics Media to Governor Okorocha.
My pleasure, my brother. My pleasure. And thank you all of you. Thank you.
Well, the much we can take when we come back on Friday. We continue with political issues that are coming fast and thick. Of course, the PDP convention is on the front burner. Join us then. My name is Amechi Anakwe. Have a good day.
Bust it.